Brothers and sisters, I trust you are doing fine. It is my happiness to be online at this particular time as well, to continue on our teachings, building the young one for the Lord on Eagle Strength TV. If you don't forget, last episode, we are in episode 9. Last episode, we were talking about our responsibility not just to preach to these children. I took Acts chapter 1, verse 1 and 2 as my baseline of this discourse. That is not only our responsibility to teach these children spiritual things, it is our responsibility to push them before God until they receive genuine conversion, genuine Holy Ghost. That we will see the fruit coming out the way it should. Until then, we must be restless. And at the same time, I was talking about building them socially. And I'm saying that in this side of the world, we should run away from certification. University education is not needful for most of these children. After OND, they should choose a trade of their own. We send our children to university not because they will go there to acquire needed skill acquisition to add value to our economic development. And that's why we have so many graduates today that their certificate cannot add value to the development of our economy. Unwanted certificates, something like public admin, political science, zoology, all these arts nonsense courses that cannot even guarantee self-reliance to the bearer of the certificate. So we should rather pray for the children, pray over them and guide them to a particular trade or skill acquisitions that will bring out the inborn capacity, the innate value they are born with, the area of which they were born to contribute to the development of society. Because our education today kill the innate value of these children. How many of the world billionaire today, multi-billionaire today, people that invented so much that have certificates? Certificate kill potentials. So after, look at the developed countries, they are not mad rush to certification as we are in this side of the world. We send our children because to build ego. You see parents of this side of the world, when they are fighting themselves, I have 3 graduates, I have 4 graduates. I don't know what the value graduate that they are sleeping and with you for the past 10 years they have graduated without anything they are doing. It's very annoying that you see a parent who even use their gratuity and pension to do wedding for the jobless child, and they will still be using their pension to sustain them. Whereas there are some things they can do. Ordinary frying beans cake, bringing their exposure to it, we have value to the economy, and we give them economic self-reliance. They will be on their own. We should encourage skill acquisition that will make our children to be employer of labor and not employment seeker. So this is part of our responsibilities. Please guard your word very well. And another responsibility that we hold to build a proper children for the Lord entails also ensure that they marry rightly. There was a GO of a particular denomination that 99% of the marriage issue that he has in his local assembly has to do with interfaith marriage. That he was trying to discourage interfaith marriage, that let every faith marry their faith mates. Let every brothers marry their faith mate. Let every sisters marry their faith mate. If you are Ekwa, marry an Ekwa girl. If you are a Deeper, marry Deeper. If you are Catholic, marry Catholic girl. It is that time we discourage interfaith marriage, because there can never be mutual focus. There can never be similar judgment. Because orientation of church A is different from orientation of church B. So let white garment people marry themselves. They are used to themselves. They are used to their practices. Let end time message believer marry end time message believer. So we have the same traditions, we have the same culture. There will be crisis of culture, there is crisis of traditions, there will be crisis of worshiping God when there is interfaith marriages. So you should not only ensure that your children marry from the same community of faith, that the same understanding, the same doctrine, the same orientation, the same baptism, the same spirit, the same culture. So, and you must only also pray that your children will not pick another person's bone. That your children will be guided to the right person God chooses for them. And of course, if that one is done and they have been converted before, then it will not be difficult to live a happy home. Most of the marriages that we are conducting today, especially the young generations, you find that 98% of them are engulfed in serious crises. They are just patching. Because conversion is not there. Then interfaith marriages. So it doesn't take long before these laws that they call love burn away. After 3 months of living together, the laws that brought them together that they call love will burn away, and they begin to see individual faults and mistakes. Then to come together in union become problems. So there's no way, if we don't deliver these children from marriage problem by ensure that they marry lightly, God cannot use them. Because a peaceful home are the best instrument in the hand of God to propagate his missions and his vision. So how will God call husband and not call the wife? So I will look at the qualification of a minister in 1 Timothy chapter 3. You go and read the qualification of who can be a pastor or a minister or a deacon. It has to be somebody who marry rightly, who will enjoy happy home, who can entertain strangers. Happy home cannot entertain strangers. And the stranger will feel at home. So these are the issues that we are having today that will not make God to make use of all the effort we have done so far. God will reject all these efforts that we have put together, presenting with the Lord. This church we are building can never meet the taste of God. It has to be the way God wanted it, the way it was established in the early church, as we have its record in from Matthew to book of Revelations. So then we need to place them in the service of God under our watch. I can repeat myself. We need to place them in the service of God under our watch. It will go to a little time now that we retire a bit. You allow these youths to start what you have embedded in them, to display what you have embedded in them. But the problem we are having today, Baba 70, Baba 80 didn't want to leave the pulpit. They cannot even conceive, except if they are son that they are planning to take over from them. They can't see a gift that is coming up from their congregation and leave the pulpit for them. That look at Jesus Christ in the Stanley ministry. He was preaching at the time, I think in the book of Matthew or John. The Bible says Jesus Christ sat back and lay hand on them and said, "Go and manifest what is in you." When will you do that? When other people occupy everywhere, there is no space, and you people say, and you say this one, like the leader of tomorrow. Leader, you don't give them chance to train. Next episode, brothers and sisters, we are going to continue on the 10th episode. Until then, I wish you all the best. Shalom.